Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host 𝙒𝙖𝙩𝙤. Was the BJP trying to do a Maharashtra in Bihar? What happened? Why did it fail? And was there any other reason for doing what they did and for what happened after that? To know all this, we are joined by Sri RVS Mani, who has worked in the Ministry of Home Affairs for many years. He's a keen political watcher and he has a different theory, something that nobody has discussed thus far. Let's go ahead and welcome Sri RVS Mani. So Mani, Namaskaram and welcome to P Guru's channel.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So take it away, sir. I'm going to go into mute. As you can see, I have a little bit of cross chatter going on.
Right. Sure. Now, our friend Nitish Kumar yesterday withdrew or he disbanded the coalition with the BJP. Mr. Iyer began with saying whether it's the case of Maharashtra, I would say no. There are few instances which are all matters of record, and still BJP went into an alliance with him in 2015. Let's not forget that in 2010, in PGurus we have discussed about this, that in 2012, Nitish had taken a delegation to Pakistan to study the developmental model. I do not know what the development model was all about. It's a matter of fact. It can be verified from record. We have done a show on this. We have done 2 shows on this. After an apology from, after an intervention from one of the officers, we had to do a reinforcement show on the same. So there is no doubt about it. Now, having said that, if you see the last few months, suddenly in Bihar, in Phulwari Sharif, a PFI cell was busted. Let us be very clear about it. Nitish personally had expressed his sympathies with the terrorists and anti-India thing just for reinforcing or reflecting his secular credentials. Whether it was in the larger interest of the nation or not, you can draw your conclusions. He called 𝙒𝙧𝙤𝙦 a 𝗣𝗚𝘂𝗍𝘬𝘃, and later on it was found, it has been upheld by the courts of law that she was a terrorist. He had also called one of the Indian Mujahideen's leader as a Bihar ka Jamata or whatever it is. He is still a notified terrorist. So this is the track record of Nitish Kumar. So I do not think that it was something about it. And yesterday what happened? On 2 months back, one or 2 months back, we had a full-fledged PFI model being busted by the central agency, the intelligence-led operation in Bihar 2 months back. Then last week or few days back, we had another ISIS recruiter from Batla House. Batla House is very notorious for that, because last time Batla House, when something happened, Sonia Gandhi could not sleep. And this time an ISIS recruiter has been caught from Batla House by the National Investigation Agency. And these things happen after a lot of intelligence input and a lot of iteration, so that there is no mistake. Now again he was hailing from Patna. So let us join the dots. Let us please join the dots. Was he finding it uncomfortable that his vote bank or his image of a messiah for Muslims, irrespective of their terror activities or terror? And I'm not saying every Muslim is a terrorist, but in the outreach to appease the Muslims, he was sheltering, he has been found sheltering, he has stood in favor of people who have been terrorists. Phulwari Sharif happened in Bihar. I am sure such a huge terror network with a lot of arms build-up and all could not have happened without the state police help or the state intelligence help. And perhaps he was looking the other way. Again, another ISIS recruiter was found in Batla. He was also hailing from Patna. So this perhaps increased the discomfort of Nitish Kumar, that repeatedly his people from his states were found to be having links with PFI or ISIS or all other such terror organization. And these people happened to be the people who were always on his appeasement list. He used to go on an outrage with them. And that is the reason, it is my submission, whatever may be the reason given by him, he has said that now he has found his secular roots or his secular conscience, because he joined hands with all of those who would again stand with him in condemning or in trying to save or salvage the PFI Phulwari Sharif network, or trying to disrupt the further investigation into the matter, or disrupt the investigation into the ISIS recruited who has been apprehended from Batla house, who hailed from Patna. That is the real reason. Let us be under no illusion. Otherwise, the timing is of importance. It was building up. Why yesterday? Why, if it was his own secular rediscovery, why did it not happen 2 months back when there was no Phulwari Sharif had not been busted? There was no ISIS recruiter being caught from Batla. That is what I wanted to say, share with you. Simply join the dots. It is simple that he is trying to stand behind or stand for protection of those people, whether in the Phulwari Sharif or in the ISIS recruiter from Patna, and that is the reason his discomfort that central agencies were trying to investigate in these matters, and that is precisely the reason. Otherwise, can you find any other reason for his trying to avoid central President of India's function, farewell dinner of the outgoing president? All these functions were missed deliberately by him after the Phulwari Sharif thing happened. So let us be under no illusion that he has rediscovered his secular credentials. He had himself come on a rebound, because those people were found to be corrupt in 2015. But make no mistakes. In 2012, he had tried to study the developmental model, and that development model now it is very evident that is what he is trying to implement as a Sushashan Babu. That Bihar will be another Pakistan. Whatever the development model he may be talking about. So the Sushashan Babu was doing Sushashan like to like that of Pakistan. And when the terrorists are caught, he withdraws, he dissociates himself from the party which is ruling at the center, with whom he had a 7-year-old association of convenience. That is the summing up of Nitish Kumar withdrawing support to the BJP, or dissociating with the BJP and going and joining with other groups who would support him in this endeavor and forming a government. Any questions? I am willing to take on.
Well, the big picture is beginning to emerge now. Perhaps Nitish Kumar has prime ministerial ambitions. Perhaps he is trying to see if he can put his hat in the ring for the consensus candidate of whatever front the opposition is going to throw up. The big question that remains is, we have told about our apprehensions about him, about his chief secretary, about that trip that happened to Pakistan, and no response from them on that. So, what is Nitish Kumar? For the sake of getting elected, will he say anything? Or more dangerously, will he do anything? Your thoughts, sir?
So far, 2012 trip, there has been no reaction. This is at least the third time we have flagged this one. PGurus. excepting that one officer wanted some correction, but we reconfirmed it from the DOPT website and again went on air with that this is the position, this is as per record. That is one part of the story. And after that, just to keep himself in power, since the huge corruption by Tejasvi Yadav was staring at his face, he conveniently switched sides to BJP and formed a coalition. I do not know in their own wisdom why did the BJP try to prove holier than thou in 2019 when he got much lesser seat than the BJP and still was allowed to be continued as a chief minister, which is again $1 million question. But he might not have supported BJP had he not been made the chief minister, because his agenda was 2012. His agenda was clearly fixed in 2012. The Sukhashan was all about 2012 trip. What he learnt or what he conspired with the Pakistani development channel, there is no doubt about it. And now this has become evident once the BJP at the center or the NDA at the center starts busting the terror groups, whether it is in Phulwari Sharif or whether the ISIS recruiter from Patna, that has made him feel uncomfortable. This is a simple take on this, and let us be very clear, this prime ministerial ambition has been propelled more by the media. We have people who have been winning elections in their own respective states like the Mamata Banerjee or the Chandrasekhar Rao or whatever it is, or even Naveen Patnaik, on the strength of their own numbers. They don't require crutches. Will they allow this gentleman to take up the position of Chief Secretary by any chance? I do not think he stands any chance of becoming a Chief Secretary, and it will be the darkest day in India that a person who is calling himself Sushashan Babu but implementing Pakistan models learned from Pakistan in his own state will be projected as a chief ministerial candidate. There are much better, much illustrious people who have performed in the hustings. Let us not forget about the fact that Mamata Banerjee, whatever people may think about her, on the election front she won it, and she won it hands down. Naveen Patnaik has been winning it hands down. Chandrasekhar Rao has been doing quite well. So in comparison with these people, Nitish Kumar had very little chance. 45 seats even in a legislative assembly of Bihar. And as you people, this is all propelled by the media. There is no question about that. His basic idea was that when Bihar, the terror sleeper cells are being busted, he dissociated with this. I am quoting facts. I am quoting the events which have occurred, which are in the public domain. Whether he called Ishrat Jahan as a Bihar ki beti or Yasin Bhatkal as whatever it is all in the matter of fact. Or whether the Phulwari Sharif also is a matter of fact. The ISIS recruiter is also on the matter of fact. These are all have been busted. They have been done in the national interest. Otherwise, he was recruiting youth for ISIS sitting in Jamia and sitting from Batla house, who was caught by the National Investigating Agency. In the face of this, still if anybody looks the other way and says Nitish is dissociated with the BJP because he has chief ministerial ambition, is something like putting the horse before the cart and asking it to be driven. As simple as that.
Thank you very much, and please like, share and subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to click on the bell button for notification. Thank you very much, Mr. Mani, and we'll be back again following up on what's going to play out.
Sure.
It is just begun. This game has just begun.
Thank you very much. Thank you.